What up, peeps? Welcome to the Kisscapades podcast. I'm your host, John Telewa, aka the Kiss Bandit. And in this show, we explore the key elements that shape our fulfilling existence, from health and well-being to financial success, meaningful relationships, and the pursuit of happiness. We cover it all. Our guests include experts, professionals, and everyday individuals who have remarkable stories to tell. Tune in to learn practical tips, gain valuable insights, and discover strategies for personal growth and transformation. Whether you're seeking to improve your health, build your wealth, enhance relationships, or find lasting happiness, we got you covered. Welcome to today's episode. Another amazing episode with a very special return guest. Here to talk about, some current news, political takes here and there. And the only person I could think of bringing in was definitely someone who's very vocal, especially online with law matters and politics. So I think you're the perfect person for this. So without further ado, just tell the people your name, what you do, and then I'll take it from there.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adrian Oluoch. I'm a lawyer. I'll be graduating in November. You should tell me congratulations.
Congratulations.
But the journey is not over, of course. I'm going for my advocates training program for another 2 years before I become an advocate.
Yeah.
I'm a legal thought leader, a civic engager, and also a political expert.
Yes.
And a young upcoming leader and an emerging one.
Politician.
Politician is a bad word.
Leader. Okay, leader. Let's go with leader.
I'm not a politician. Just because you become a governor or you become an MP, you don't need to call yourself a politician. There is no career like politician.
That makes sense.
I'm a leader.
Okay.
You've elected me. I'm not a politician.
Well said. So now, I think, we did an episode last year.
Yeah.
Definitely we got some things heated with people online.
Yeah.
And I think we also just handled it
very professional.
Very professional. There's no back and forth and everything. But so anything that we're discussing now, these are just our individual thoughts and perspectives. And even for your case, you're still going through institutions and, maybe political affiliations and stuff. So anything that you say, I put that into consideration. For me, I'm working independently. So, nobody can take food out of my table. So I'm in a different position. So, but it's just our own views, expressions. So don't take anything too seriously. You can't take it seriously, but also put into consideration every individual has their own perspective. Yes.
And sometimes you might point out certain factual issues that you might not agree with as a person.
Yes.
And that is the point of having a discussion.
Yep.
This is my point of view, that is yours.
Yeah.
Even if you might not agree with it, tell us what you think that is different. But it's good to make that disclaimer because politicians are very radical because that is your own view and you feel like this is the change that you need.
Yeah.
So it might not be what you agree with, but take it with a light heart.
Yeah. A grain of salt, man.
Exactly.
A grain of salt. And also if you think about it, when it comes to politics, that's why even things like parliament, people vote.
Exactly.
There's a policy introduced and then people ask okay, what do you guys think? What's your take? And then let's vote in. And then of course, majority votes at times. They might not be what you wanted it to be, but, that's what might actually have to be passed.
Yes.
So now we definitely have to touch on the climate, which is the Honorable Raila Odinga, who just passed away a few days ago. And of course, the only person that I could think of also who was close to that affiliation is definitely you and somebody from I would call you in a Gen Z bracket for sure.
Yes, so the young people getting into the political space.
Definitely. Because I think that's the opinion for my case that I need on my platform. The older people do have all those other different avenues, but I do always want to tap in with young people and hear what they think, thought process and everything.
And in fact, that is great because you want to see what's this young person's perspective.
Yes.
Now that he has interacted with these people. You just don't have to get a veteran and a senior one. who's also doing the same thing, because we might be viewing it differently. You might ask a veteran, what do you think about the death of Raila?
Yeah.
He will tell you another perspective. A young person will also tell you a very different perspective.
True.
So it is good to get young people because it gives you a view of the future.
And they are the future.
Exactly.
If you think about it.
For sure.
Okay, so now just for, I saw you've like done like, a few clips like online, just like, or even just putting out like your thoughts.
Yes.
Like with whatever is happening like right now, I do have like a list of questions. So it won't be like, targeting you, but I want to know like your thoughts. Like, okay, let's just first of all start with like, of course, Raila just passed away, rest in peace. But my first question would be, I saw a couple of weeks ago, you had done a podcast.
Yes.
And you actually said his health state is not at a good place.
Yes.
And to me, I was just like, wait, so you actually knew this and you actually had already like expressed it. It's like something you almost knew. It was almost coming.
Yes.
So like just if you can take me through that process and what made you say that. Maybe it was an interaction or maybe something you had or...
Of course, it's an interaction. And one thing about the political space, you can never hide anything from people.
Yeah.
It becomes seemingly impossible. Even whatever is going on in the backrooms of the president, at one point or another, it must get out to the people. Nothing ever stays inside. So one thing about Raila, for the past few months, he has been having a very bad health condition. From his kidney, his heart condition that he has been having for quite a long time, ever since detention. So these health conditions got worse, especially this year. But now the problem with this year has been a very tense year. And one key, stand that ODM wanted to put about is that they did not want to discuss anything to do with succession politics. And you understand why?
No.
It's because of Babu Owino.
Where does that come?
When you bring up the discussion of succession in the ODM party, everyone, the entire population, a majority of people, not just people from Nyanza, think Babu as the suitable leader to take over Raila Odinga. So they did not want that discussion.
Okay.
So they did not want to bring up issues about Raila's health, that Raila is suffering from a certain health condition. There is a problem. Because the moment you do that, you preempt the possibility that now Babu has to take over. So they had to hide it away from the public for people not to know about it. But Raila's health has been bad, especially this year. And there were people who had already predicted, now that they have already gotten this information, especially from people who are close to his circle, they realize that this is the medical condition that he's going through. They foresaw that Raila might leave us soon enough. When you're having heart problems or cardiac issues, you definitely have to think of a possibility whereby someone is going to have cardiac arrest.
True.
At a certain point.
True.
So they did not want that discussion. So they hid it. And I was hearing for a few months people telling me that we are very stressed about the health condition of Raila. Raila is not looking fit. That is why even in public forums, most people were questioning how Raila just looked as an individual. And if you could see, Raila looked a little bit different this year.
A bit frail.
Yes, exactly. That's the word. He was looking frail. Even in major political events, he looked very different. And people speculated. And that is when I also saw that whatever this person was telling me was actually right. The health condition of Baba was not good. And unfortunately, it caught up to him. He put up a spirited fight, but we all die in the end.
That's true. And also for one thing that I know, like, I was just checking, like, some of the things that, medical history, like, even considering like it's somebody who had gone like a brain surgery like in 2010.
Exactly.
In 2010. And then, we have things like hypertension. And I think, I'm not sure about diabetes, but I was just checking like through like records, but hypertension is also there. And for somebody who's going through all those things, and then you add on top like something like, cardiac issues, I think for one thing that I can say is that's very unfortunate is like he really never took time to rest.
That is the tragedy about
He never
Raila.
rested at all.
Never.
He never.
Right. In fact, people did most. We can even talk about Raila has even made so many visits to the hospital, but most people do not know about it.
Yeah.
You would see Raila in Dubai and you think Raila is actually vacationing, but Raila has gone for medical checkups.
Yeah.
But because the next week is needed at a certain political event,
he's
going to be meeting Ruto to shake hands with him. He's going to be having a meeting with ODM leaders. So he has to fly, get medical checkup and come back. And people do not realize that. That is the tragedy.
Yeah.
The responsibility that came with his position as a person did not let him rest for even an entire year just to take care of his health condition.
Yep.
And I believe that's the reason why we have not seen Raila go for at least an extra 20 years like other leaders have done. People
Very
like
true.
Moi. If you look at like Kibaki used to be a president but had so much time resting.
Yep.
Kibaki would rest for about 7 months and people do not know where is the president.
Yeah.
He wasn't like Ruto.
Things are happening, but he's taken some time out.
He has taken some time out.
Yeah.
People are not hearing from him. But Raila was not the individual who would go away from the political scene for more than 2 months.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. Because if the same way you've said it, I would honestly say that I think if he was even like, taking like 1 week off, the next one you're working, 1 week off, because you already know the situation with your body. Because at times we have to listen to our body. And also the unfortunate part is like you can see clearly that the way you've said, even like during public gatherings, you could see like his walking is a bit strange.
Yeah.
He is forcing it a little bit.
True.
But unfortunately, even during his last minutes, it was him still trying to walk. And that's like a lion's fight, though. I would have to give that to him because, he had a big heart.
For sure. In fact, I've interacted with some of the secretariats and the PAs.
Yeah.
Do you know the long list of people who just want to meet Raila?
Yeah.
Have you seen that now Raila has gone? Literally everybody has a photo with Raila.
Yep.
Everybody at some point has met Raila.
Yep.
So the secretariat has over 1,000 people in just a month who want to meet Raila.
Yeah.
So you can imagine.
Yeah.
And he always makes sure that he meets all these individuals.
He left a really big impact.
That is why right now we are seeing everyone has a photo with Raila. This businessman was with Raila because he took time to meet everyone.
Yeah.
And he was a person who was sought after. So he knew his power. He could not just ignore everyone. So that is the tragedy with his position. And that's why he could not take that time off, as you're stating, even a week.
True. True. Okay, now, still on medical, right? I'd want to ask you, why do you think he went to the hospital in India, considering there are so many other different faculties that he would go to? Like, I think the States has some of the top cardiology institutions. We have Singapore, we have where else? Japan, Switzerland, and Germany. They really have really good cardiology institutions. Why do you think he went to India to also kind of just an almost ordinary hospital when I think he could clearly just with his diplomatic privileges and everything, and even just with his wealth, he would have gone to somewhere that's like
in America, so
more established.
There is this misconception or misconstrued image of places like America or Germany having some of the best doctors. Yeah. They don't really have some of the best doctors.
No, not medical doctors, medical facilities.
Facilities.
Because when it comes to let's just not take away the technology. If you land somewhere like Japan, you'd probably enter a room like this that would give you measurements, just by scanning your body, measurements from your BP, heart rate, cholesterol levels, all those things, just because of technology. Germany, definitely one of the top leading. Switzerland, the same. And also the States. And I was doing this research because I was like, I really want to know why. So I'm trying to think was he going there because it's more on herbal or more or less intrusive medication treatment that he would receive there? Because we all know,
So definitely, he did not just sought after the herbal itself. It's also, you can never just go on the herbal route itself. There is certain medical attention that you need aside from that.
Yeah.
Or you're not making it for sure.
True.
But when you are talking about the US having, very good medical treatment, it's because, of course, these people have the technical capacity.
Yes.
When it comes to research, when it comes to the amenities that you need in a hospital, all those, it is there. Or certain technical technologies that is supposed to be supporting a doctor when it comes to treatment.
Yeah.
But, India has very good specialists. And also, we have very smart individuals, especially in the medical field.
True.
You've seen the kind of leaders even India produces when it comes to the tech space.
Yeah.
So the same happens with the medical industry. It has some of the best specialists, people who have done very good research and output to the world in their own specific field. So that is why sometimes India is also trusted so much.
Yeah.
But also apart from that, the reason why India is also a good place, India is not like African people. Africa, we have abandoned fully the idea of herbalist traditions of treatment.
Yeah.
But, because India has its own religion of the Hinduism and the way they embrace it fully, they have not also abandoned that idea.
True.
So in India, it is very widespread for people to be seeking different medical attention from herbals and all. And also there is meditation, spirituality, and all those things. So that is something very unique that, one, you might never find in the US.
100%.
Two, you will not find in Africa, because Africans have abandoned, even though we had it just the same as India, but Africans have not embraced it as much. It has died and disappeared. But in India, it is still rampant and it's still there. Not rampant, but it is still embraced.
Yeah.
So we still have these special hospitals that offer mediation. They offer these certain ancient treatments that they believe in, and spirituality, talking to the patients and all that. And I think that is the unique aspect that maybe kept Raila there, because I believe Raila has also sought after medical attention in other countries.
Probably, yeah.
Such as London. He has done it before. He went also to Germany after his detention. So you see, he has already experienced most of these hospitals.
Okay.
He did it in Germany, he did it in London. He also did it in Dubai. So apart from experiencing that, he saw that, I've experienced this, but India offers a certain unique thing. And one thing about certain ailments of old people, it becomes inevitable that the medical treatment you're seeking from other countries or the modern medicine will not eventually treat you.
That's true.
Like we have people suffering from diabetes, they die with it,
Yeah.
but they're still getting the treatment. So the herbal medicine gives that alternative. We can offer you the treatment. Try it. So that is what Raila did.
Okay.
And because it also treated his daughter who was having blindness, who had sought after treatment from different countries, and it did not work out fully. So the moment the daughter went to that hospital and he was able to recover her eyesight.
Where it was in
it was
India?
It was in India.
Okay.
Not so long ago. It was about, I don't know if it is 4 years or 5 years, but I'm not.
I remember something of the sort.
But there was headlines whereby she had actually been treated. And Raila was thanking the entire hospital, certain ambassadors from India for the recommendation. So after the lady regained her eyesight, Raila gained more confident
of course
in those treatments that India offers that are non-traditional.
And I can only imagine,
medicine.
Being at that age, you're now trying to evaluate as many options as possible.
Yes.
And think of like, okay, this has worked before. So why shouldn't I try it? Because I'm sure even with the daughter, they probably went to so many other different institutions, given different, analysis. But going to that specific institution there, which I think even in the records, it shows like during his visit, he also passed by, I don't know if he needed like eye checkup or something.
Yes.
But also now that I've opened like my notes, it shows, of course, definitely cause of death was cardiac arrest.
Yes.
And also reports mention like, there were underlying historical issues on hypertension, diabetes. He had like a mild stroke history and also something a bit to do with kidney disease. So you see, he already had like quite a number of underlying conditions.
Yes.
And that's why, again, I'm saying like for somebody with all this going on and he was still waking up in the morning, I do not know how that is possible because even for my case, like, I had like a minor surgery, right? And I also had like even the surgeon on my podcast.
Yes.
And I was like, 2 weeks, I'm not moving. 1 month, I was still like, I feel a bit of pain and I'm not moving. But I can imagine somebody who has all these things, but still is waking up in the morning.
Show up at a rally, talk to
and smile.
tens of thousands of people.
Oh my God, I can't.
Officiate an entire political party. Not a political party.
Yeah.
An entire government. He was second in command after Ruto now that they had the handshake.
True.
So he was overseeing and almost
A
half
lot
of the
things.
government.
Yeah.
The cabinet secretaries who were there. All these people. So he's doing that with his bad health condition.
Yeah.
And do you know how Raila got heart problems?
No.
Detention. So Raila was in detention under the Moi era.
Yeah.
So while Raila was detained, he was heavily beaten. There was these torture methods whereby they would step even on your chest, or they would hit objects even around your heart, or even sometimes in your brain, or certain, blood vessels that are very important to the heart place. So immediately Raila was released from prison.
Yeah.
He just said that I am not feeling well. I need to get medical attention abroad. And Moi refused. In fact, at that time, his wife had actually been fired from State House Girls just for being the wife of Raila.
Affiliation.
So just the affiliation itself. Yeah. And Raila was trying to get medical condition for quite some time, and Moi could not allow him. Because at that time, we did not have the capacity of our own hospitals to address the issue of heart diseases and all. So he wanted to go to Germany. So he fought for it so much until he was allowed to go to Germany for them to address the issues of the heart disease or some complications that he had gotten from detention itself.
Yeah.
So that is where some of his health conditions started after that detention.
Okay. And then another question now, as we summarize, like just on the medical conversation, like why do you think there is not so much confidence when it comes to medical treatment, especially for high-profile people? Like most of them seek medical treatment outside the country. Why do you think there's no confidence in that? And why not for us just to make sure our institutions have all these things so that, in return, if I ever have an emergency, instead of going all the way to India or Europe, I can just take...
Sorry.
Some water, cold water. Sorry.
You should take some water.
So, why do you think there's no that confidence, and why shouldn't we just build the institutions here so that, if in case of an emergency, instead of me going out to the country, it's easier for me to just fly to maybe if it's Mombasa or, come to Nairobi and I just get proper medical treatment.
You know the problem when people talk about that you should be getting medical treatment here in Kenya, they forget that it is not just the normal physician or medical treatment. It is a specialist that you need.
Yeah.
And if you look at Kenya, we lack. We do not even just lack. We have the bare minimum number of specialists in our hospitals. Most of them have left the country through brain drain because our institutions and our system that we've put in place are not actually paying them so well.
That's true.
If you look at cancer issues, you really need a specialist, an oncologist to handle this matter. But if you ask yourself, how many oncologists are in Kenya? You're talking about a 50, 30, 40. Wow. How is this person going to attend to almost 50,000 cancer patients?
That's true.
50,000 is even a very low number.
Means they'll be overwhelmed on a daily basis.
So these are people who are sought after. So they are not even giving attention to the entire public.
That's true.
Only a few institutions such as Aga Khan, these expensive private hospitals, who can actually pay them so well. So we lack that specialization when it comes to certain medical conditions. Leave alone physicians. We have so many physicians. Definitely, if I'm having a normal medical condition, there is no need for me to be going abroad.
True.
But the moment I'm having kidney failures and we do not have enough urologists or maybe someone who's experienced as much as someone else who's abroad, definitely I would have to seek that person. And the reason politicians are doing it is because they can afford.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
That's actually very... So you can only imagine now for ordinary Mwananchi, that's actually very unfortunate because the costs that I'm hearing about even just getting treatment overseas.
You've seen certain times whereby people fundraise over 5 million for someone to go to India.
Oh,
I've seen it.
Yeah, now
so
it
many
makes
times.
sense. Makes sense,
Yeah, right?
Because if they go there, at least they're gonna get the attention and the speciality that you've talked about,
and that surgery that is needed. Even in medicine, there is a hierarchy of people performing surgery.
Yeah.
If you need a certain complicated surgery, especially maybe in your brain, that neurosurgeon here in Kenya might be qualified, but he cannot perform that surgery.
That's true.
Even that institution that we have in Kenya might have the capacity, but cannot perform a specific surgery. I've seen it before by someone is being told that this surgery is not performed in Africa, actually.
Yeah,
we only have one institution in India that performs this specific nerve surgery. So you have to go there. Think about that for someone who's a normal Mwananchi.
You're done. Exactly. Honestly speaking, if crowdfunding doesn't help you, you just count your days.
Doesn't help. There's so many people have been told the amount of money they need for surgery, and they've said, let me just wait for my time.
I was looking at the costs here of just in US, if you're going just for what is it called, average heart bypass surgery, it would cost between 55,000 to 150,000 USD. That's in the US. In Germany, between 30,000 euros to 40,000 euros. In India or Turkey, now we're talking about now comes to $10,000, $15,000, which is quite reasonable. And I think now, even if you do the crowdfunding, it gets to 3 million or 4 million. You're possibly going to get
cost,
the
and definitely
proper.
If you're still being held at that hospital, there are certain bills that accrue.
Of
not
course,
just
of course.
So you'll need more than 5 million.
That's for sure. But at least I think now, if we talk about on the lower side, it comes between India and Turkey, which will be between 10 to 15,000. And then, like you've said, the accrued costs now maybe, and medication, and all those other things.
Giving out those important statistics. The US also offers the same service at its best, just like India. But India is now more affordable than the United States. The problem in the United States, there's heavy capitalism, especially in the health sector, the health industry. The moment you do not have insurance and you're paying cash for any medical treatment, trust me, you'll break the bank when it's the US. So that's why most people do not go to the US. Even not simple, but these things such as plastic surgery. The US has some of the best cosmetic surgeons, in fact, the best. But people choose to go to Turkey because it offers that affordability. So there is that problem of capitalism when it comes to the healthcare industry, whereby so many medication has been heightened. So it becomes very expensive to seek medical healthcare in the US.
Okay, and then now, also I was to mention for Singapore, it becomes around $18,000 to $30,000. And that's just a rough estimate on places that have the best treatment options when it comes to the heart. And then also now the next thing I would like to touch on is now his age. He was 80, right?
Yeah, he was 80.
He was 80.
But some people speculate that Raila might have not known his real age.
Because those old school people as well, how...
Exactly. That Raila might have been even older.
90.
Exactly.
If we're speculating, he could have been.
Raila, I've heard of this thing quite well. Raila was not actually 80. Raila could have been 90
if we
years
look,
old.
because I'm assuming it's somebody who's pushed himself to his limits. I'm assuming he was eating traditional foods, not fast food or anything. If it's exercise, if anything, he was doing too much exercise. Excessive. So I'm just trying to analyze and look at all these things. And at 80, it still doesn't give me a concrete reason why that would be the reason why he had to collapse, even after he's had treatments and all these other things, because ideally we have other leaders who are close to that age or more. But I think also 80 would have been a bit still young.
Too early.
Still too early. So if we're speculating, he might have been older, honestly speaking.
Trump is 70, I don't know, age.
72.
72. Orengo is also around the same age. When you're 80, the time that you should speculate someone to be, at least weak is after 85.
Yeah, 85, 90 there, people are
85.
always like their body, like, more you could see like
The
now
body
his
starts
body
to
has.
giving up on them. But I've seen a lot of people who are 80 and are very strong.
You could see how Moi was climbing those like
Yes.
airplane like stairs going up the nini.
Yes, in fact, Moi started using a wheelchair after post 85.
There you go.
But at 80 years old, he was still standing. He attended the inauguration, I don't know, of Uhuru. He was all of these leaders at that time. So Moi was very strong.
I'm trying to see like the ages. I had also put like a couple of, leaders here, like presidents, both like the states in most of them are ranging around 70s there. And it's crazy because Ruto happens to be one of the youngest presidents. He happens to be one of... He's 50. Let me confirm. Let me just put...
Ruto is 55. Not 55. 55
right. 56? 58.
58,
yeah. So you see, he's one of the youngest presidents.
Exactly. And that is why people are also saying Ruto will be too young to retire as president.
He's too young. He's too young.
At that time.
But that's the thing. Here's the thing. Before we start getting people heated here, the reason I'm bringing up age, I'm just saying, like, if we compare to so many other different presidents worldwide, Ruto is so... I was shocked.
Yes.
Because I was just pulling the stats. Okay, let me just see how old other presidents are. Most presidents are around 72, 75 there. But, when we go to places like Congo, I think that's where like the president is like around 80 something there.
Yes.
And he's still functioning. But 56,
he's very young. So you can imagine you can imagine if he finishes his term.
Yeah.
And maybe he does not go for a second term, or maybe even if he goes for a second term.
Yeah.
He would have still finished it before he even gets to 70 years. He would still be 60 something. So
he's so young.
He'll be 60 something, still energetic, and he has already left the political
So
space.
one thing that I'll also say that, I have to still give kudos to him for what he has achieved for his age. For his age.
Yes.
Because again, we also have to, politics becomes so sensitive when we're talking about different parties, but I also have to include I'm always neutral.
Yeah.
Because I always say once people are elected, we have to deal with them for 5 years, whether we like it or not. And also when you go outside the country, remember when somebody's asking who's your president? You still have, I don't want to be that kid who's saying my dad is always in the house, he's beating up people. No, I still have to say good things about my country. No, because even if we complain, we've already decided that's what we're going to face for this certain period.
Yes, the way Ruto rose to power was the reason why he's very young right now. It has been very strategic for him, and everything has worked so well for him.
And strategy has shocked me.
He just came from an MP to being again an MP, to being a minister, to being a deputy president, and immediately again being a president. That is why he's 58 and he's still a president. So his rise to politics has been very favorable for him.
Yeah.
It has been very strategic for him. That is why he's 58 and he was competing with Raila, who was 80, vying for the same position.
Yeah. And also now if I was to ask, because just think about it, what if maybe Raila won that position, then we would have been dealing with another bigger issue right now. Because definitely he would have had more physical responsibilities to attend to. And it would still have but the conversation I think I would like to pose it on, do you think it's important now for even just political parties to have those discussions that you've said now it's difficult for ODM to have when you start looking at your party representative almost getting to that age? It's how a father in the house has to talk about inheritance. It's my kids,
you just have to definitely do it.
I'm feeling my body and I don't think I'm going to make it to the next 1 year or 2 years.
Yes.
But I have to have this discussion. In case I pass away, this is what needs to go to this. This is the person who should. Do you think it's important for political parties to start having those discussions, especially for now? You're coming from a young generation.
Very young.
Let's not forget a lot of our politicians are actually quite old people. They're actually quite old people. Apart from the president, other politicians have been there for the longest time. And we've seen people like
Kalonzo, 40 years in politics.
Yes.
Gene Wamala, all these people, we have seen them for almost 40 years in Kenyan politics.
Yes.
So, first of all, the death of Raila has been a very sudden turn of events. Let me put it a little bit.
Slightly,
So, number one, if we are talking about Babu should abandon the idea of vying for Nairobi governor. The fact that Raila has actually passed away, Babu should say that he does not want to become the governor of Nairobi. Because if Babu decides to become the governor of Nairobi, then he puts himself in a critical position whereby people can easily finish him politically.
In what way?
First of all, there are so many technicalities when it comes to being a governor, because a governor is a very heavy administrative position. That is why we see so many good leaders who were once MPs, but immediately they become a governor, we do not hear from them.
Yeah, true.
Or immediately they become a governor, certain issues start popping up. The issues of mismanagement of funds in their counties, the issues of corruption, the issues of impeachment by these MCAs. So when you become a governor, you predispose yourself in a position whereby people can easily water down your political stature or your political ability. If you look at Nairobi today, Babu can come as an ambitious leader and say, I want to solve the garbage issues in Nairobi.
Yeah.
But you do not realize that the cartel who controls the garbage in Nairobi is the same person who's donating money to fund the presidential election. He's funding the president.
True.
He's saying, giving the president 600 million Kenya shillings for his campaign. Give me all these tenders to manage the garbage in Nairobi. How are you going as a mere governor going to fight this cartel?
Yeah.
And that is why it has become seemingly impossible to manage Nairobi as it is needed. You can't fight against these people. If you talk about the regulations that we are having even in zoning areas, such as Karen, Runda, how are you going to demolish these buildings that have been done for more than 4 floors when the building is owned by someone who sits at the same table with the president?
True.
So Nairobi sometimes is impossible to manage. Very impossible. Even simple issues such as Mudhurwa market, whereby the hawkers and also people who are selling these groceries have all laid their items on the road, seemingly even on sidewalks. The moment you decide to vacate these people, Sakaja did it. What happened? There was a Kikuyu business community that came out criticizing him. So Babu wants to put himself in this position. So what happens? Number one, if he decides to become a governor, people will deliberately try to make it impossible for him to manage Nairobi. And people, after some time, people will say that this is the leader we had so much hope on him, and he has failed to become a governor. He has failed to manage Nairobi, just like Sakaja. Would you be seeing Babu as the same person if that happens? No. Definitely not. You would never even want to trust him as a president again. Another issue, the issue of impeachment. If Babu does not follow the instructions of these people can decide to impeach him anytime.
For sure.
And the moment you face the issue of impeachment, that is the moment you lose credibility as a leader. Leave alone even after being impeached. The fact that people have started your impeachment
that conversation,
process, that conversation alone takes away the credibility. So imagine Babu being a person who is being impeached by MCS. What happens to his image as a leader that we have seen can deliver for Nairobi? That is why Nairobi governorship should be abandoned by Babu. But people also need to realize that a governor position is not a fundamental position to being a president.
Okay.
Being an MP and a legislature is far more important than being a governor. Because number one, you keep your voice. Number two, the moment you have the support base of your constituency, you will always be re-elected.
True.
it becomes possible, like Babu, he has delivered for his constituency. So people would definitely want to re-elect him again. So it is secured. But that MP gives you the voice in parliament every day to talk about issues. So even if Babu becomes MP next time, he can still talk about Kenyan issues and still decide to become the leader of ODM.
Okay, now, since we're having that discussion, right? There's a huge vacuum there that's been left. Do you think Babu is the suitable candidate to fill that in? Because we do have like a couple of names that, have been elected. No, they're still representatives in ODM, and they might also want to fill those shoes. But also, like, it's kind of tricky because Raila's position can't just be filled by anyone who's even like strong enough to replace such a person who had a voice internationally for over 40 years. So who do you think? There's a space there. There's a gap. And like we've said, there are some conversations that are hard to have, but they are necessary. And even though they did not want to have them when they could see Baba was frail,
they must have them, right?
So now you have to have them. So do you think it's going to be easy? And who do you think potentially could fill that gap?
When you want to fill the gap,
because it has to be
of Raila Odinga,
because this thing of Gen Z saying we are faceless, we don't have a leader, that does not work.
Now we are speaking like political analysts.
Yes.
A political analyst does not take any stand or position. What he does is just analyzing each and every side. I analyze what's happening with the Gen Z. So I'm a young Gen Z who can also be a political analyst. So I give a neutral view.
Okay.
How are people aligned on tribalism? How are people aligned on the Gen Z uprising? All this. So we are free very much to talk about it, despite the fact that it might seem like that's not the politics that we want as young people. So for you to replace Baba, number one, there are certain characteristics that you have to take from Baba that you look for in another person. Number one is goonism. You have to pick a leader who is a goon. And Baba thrived so well.
If it comes to that, he will be there.
That is how Babu rose to politics, especially in campus.
True.
Babu had a very huge group of goons who would just show up at a lecturer's office and tell him, I need my marks. If I don't get my marks by tomorrow, I'm coming to this office with my people.
We'll have a problem.
And he gets his marks. So Babu has that goonism. And the reason why that goonism was very important, especially in Nyanza politics, is because Luos sometimes are very aggressive people. If you go to political meetings, people are always disagreeing. People are always fighting. So it becomes very violent. So you must always protect yourself as a politician. So Babu has it. The same, and the reason why you might think that Raila might not have the goonism, but Raila also started through that.
But he was already too old to, like, even when people are saying, like, Raila to come and join us in the street. How? Like, come on now, how?
There was a long time when there was a meeting between Ford Kenya. There was a meeting of Ford Kenya, and Raila wanted to become the leader of Ford. So Raila had heard certain rumors that people did not want him to become the leader of Ford. So what happened is one day at Thika municipality, he showed up with goons, so many of them, and they disrupted the entire meeting, together even with his father who was there. And he told Raila, what are you doing, my son? Why are you telling these people to come and disrupt my meeting? Kindly tell them to stop. But it was that goonism that enabled him to continue on. There was a by-election in Ugunja, whereby Orengo was also vying against Raila. There was a candidate there. The goons stopped it. So you see that aspect of goonism in politics, in Kenyan politics, a certain leader must have it. And if you analyze most of the ODM leaders, who has it? And you know one thing about goonism, you must be able to command people to do something. Babu had the ability to command student leaders to do this.
I have some names here that you can throw away. I can just throw them out and then,
List them.
Because I can see you don't want to mention it.
I don't want to water them down because...
Okay, now...
ODM has already made a proclamation that this is the person we want, this is the person we want.
Gladys Wanga.
Never.
Okay. Edwin Sifuna.
Cannot. A good legislator.
Okay.
But cannot.
Okay, John Mbadi.
Cannot.
Wycliffe Oparanya.
Never.
The lovely Esther Passaris.
Oh my.
No. Inclusivity. We have to do inclusivity.
Yeah. Thank you for the inclusivity. But Esther, oh my God, Esther Passaris. In fact,
she seems to be always there.
Esther Passaris,
in fact,
she's embarrassing herself.
But she's always in the picture.
And that is the tragedy of Kenyan
and
politics.
Even 2 terms. She's done 2 terms. She's always been there.
But why has she done it? Because of the favor of Raila Odinga. She has not done it because she has been a good leader or an inspiring woman leader.
Okay.
It was because of the favor of Raila Odinga.
Yeah, because, that's why I'm saying, like, why I have to bring up her name as much as, like, you, even just hearing her name, you're just like, because how do you explain this person who's not probably good at their job, always there? She's done it for 10 years. 10 years is crazy.
Politics is a different game. And I even tell people, even the dumbest of people can actually thrive in
That's
politics.
true. That's true.
Because it is a very different seemingly game.
So, Passaris out.
Passaris, oh my God. I cannot even imagine a world where Passaris becomes a presidential candidate. In fact, if that really happens in Kenya, I would just join Raila where he is.
Okay, now we do have, some party leaders. We have Hassan Joho. Isn't he part of, like,
Hassan Joho cannot. Of course,
he has goons. He has that aggression and everything.
The agility.
He's still young.
The demeanor of someone who can command a crowd. Hassan Joho has it. But, I'll be very critically honest. The anchor of ODM politics must be a Luo.
Okay.
It has to be that way.
So you guys don't want inclusivity?
Not we. I may not be part, but it has to be that way. Because for one critical aspect why ODM survived was because anytime the party leader can call people to protest, people would follow it. So there was that power that they had against any sitting government. But the reason why who were the majority of these people protesting? It was Luos. And who were they following? They were following their own leader. So that
they can still feel like this is one of us and they have our best interest.
Exactly. So just like Raila, the son of Ramogi, the son of Jaramogi, this is one of us who has been fighting for us. So they would do it blindly. And the only reason why it stretched outward is because it had to be a national party, not just an ODM party. So it had to stretch to coast, it has to stretch to western, it has to stretch to these people. So these people have to be included, such like Hassan Joho, Wycliffe Oparanya from western. But this does not mean that these people can take leadership from a Luo.
The same way we can't expect like an Omondi to win something in central Kenya.
Exactly. So if you put Joho as the party leader of ODM, how is Joe going to stand in Kondele and tell people, please come and protest? That is not going to happen.
Yeah, even that meeting, I don't understand how it's going to happen.
Going to talk to the people in Kondele. So that Luo aspect has to be there.
Anyang' Nyong'o.
Yes, Anyang' Nyong'o can be a leader. But
the problem, but I think age.
Have you seen Anyang' Nyong'o on TV? Anyang' Nyong'o might leave us soon.
That's why I've mentioned age. I think that would be a factor, and maybe underlying medical issues.
Yes, so many.
So unfortunately, so and you can just notice, like, if somebody, and that's why I'm saying, like, you need to understand your body. And I think also another thing I would say about Raila is, I'm just trying to think, like, if I was to put myself in somebody like his shoes.
Yes.
My last 10 years, I have to be relaxing. I'd be eating grapes, dipping my feet like in the lake somewhere, just relaxing. But he really did work until his last breath.
And the most impressive thing about Raila, he has been able to become so relevant in Kenyan politics.
For
how hard is it?
Long.
Think of even artists, how it is so hard for you to become even relevant
for so long. Industry. It's impossible.
Now think of politics. We have had so many politicians over 50 years who have come, and it has become so hard for them to be relevant.
And not just being relevant, shaking the ground.
Yes, shaking.
Like when it was Uhuru, the ground was shaking. Like when Moi was there, I was having problems.
You stop starting with Uhuru.
Even the last one, Ruto, during like he has always been like, putting people on their toes.
Start with Moi's era.
Yeah.
For the entire 16 years,
yes,
Raila was one of the youngest people who gave Moi the biggest headache.
Pressure.
Pressure. And Moi could not
yes.
kill Raila.
Yeah.
Because Raila was Jaramogi Odinga's son.
Yeah.
He could not do that fatal mistake. And I hear there was a proclamation that he made. He's not going to make such kind of a mistake. Even though he had the capacity to kill Raila Odinga.
I think also old school people kind of had like some lines that we kind of have to maintain.
Yeah.
Like, like I know your father and my father were battling in this, so we still have to maintain like that car. And I think then, I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunately, we're coming to a place where that might end soon.
Yes.
And I think a lot of younger people, I don't know how it's going to be because it might be like a wild west kidogo because old school people had those ethics that guide them.
Yes.
Because like your father and my father were rivals, but they respected each other. They conducted business. And even that's why I think it's also, I think for my case, I was looking at things as like, these people that, guys are fighting on the ground, but these people later on over the weekend, they still have to go and have tea.
Yeah.
Because like, we can't burn the ground. We can't burn the whole country down because we have differences.
Yes.
So we still have to find like a way we can have a conversation, still do your thing, and let me represent my people as well.
Yes, those people have personal pacts.
Yes.
That's why even when Jomo Kenyatta died, the first thing Moi did was to take Uhuru Kenyatta. And he said it openly that, this was the son of Mzee Jomo, someone who was a close friend of mine. I will hold his hand in this political space. So that is why he supported even Uhuru Kenyatta for presidency. So you see, there is that pact, personal pact that they had.
Yeah.
So that pact, Moi, despite them not agreeing with Jaramogi, he also had it with the family. So he could not just randomly wake up one day and kill the son of one of the fighters that they had been with together. Despite how this person was against him, the insults, all those things, they can never do that.
And I'm always saying, that's why, again, if we come back to like a previous conversation, I'm always telling people, like, even when you open your mouth online and you talk, you have to understand the consequences of the things that might come your way.
Yes.
Because does your family have those grounds of protecting you? Was your grandfather with this other grandfather in the same class? If not, you can still air your opinion out, but also just be ready for what it might come with. We've seen other people who like express themselves. Their businesses have almost been shut down to the ground. And so many other different things. You just see like, Nani has died, Nini. But, we can't really point fingers, but we're just saying like, that's how crazy politics is.
Yes.
And I think for the power that those people have, they can easily make you go away if they want to.
Definitely.
So most of them, they choose. And I think it's also like, as long as you don't mess or take food from his plate, he might just ignore you for the longest time. Because they're like, let him just play, because it's part of politics.
Yeah.
Because politics can't also just be quiet. Even can you imagine the headache that Trumps wake up with every Monday morning? Every Monday morning, as we're talking locally, he wakes up with a headache from international people criticizing, insulting him back and forth. So you have to understand, it comes with a job.
It comes heavily with a job.
Yeah. So now, back to my original question. Who do you think might be? Give me two or three names that we can maybe revisit this conversation once you guys decide who takes that position.
First of all,
if you're to predict, who do you think among like just three people who most likely might?
First of all, as a young person,
a
very revolutionary one, and who wants a new system of leadership, I would not want kingpin politics anymore.
Meaning?
I would not want the politics whereby an entire region such as Nyanza is going behind one person, such that whatever this person says is what we listen to, despite the fact that it will not work for us.
Okay.
That if he tells me that this is your governor, elect him. I don't want that kind of politics.
Where you can't even question or see if like this makes sense.
This makes sense, exactly.
Yeah.
So that is the politics that I do not want, and that is the politics that we want to get rid of.
Yeah.
But, as an analyst, I would say Babu is situated at the best position to inherit the kingship of Raila Odinga in Nyanza.
Okay.
Because of his good characteristics such as, the goonism that I've talked about.
Yeah.
And also a certain sense of compassion that Babu has developed over a few years ago. Not a long time. Babu was also a very ruthless person at a certain point.
Yeah.
But for a few years, he has decided to display a certain diplomatic image as someone who can be considered for high office. That is why he has been helping people around. He has not been insulting people the way he used to do it in certain
true.
spaces.
The way he, but now will that still come and bite him back, like, or be a chip on his shoulder, like, even like the pending issue he had with like the DJ Evolve, who's still like in a wheelchair. Such things.
In fact, if you are a very rational person, especially such as me, with the utmost honesty, Babu does not have the good character of a leader.
Okay.
Because definitely integrity and high character matters when it comes to leadership.
Integrity and emotional intelligence. So, goonism is good, but we also need to know that you might not be like that ticking time bomb.
Exactly. And one thing about our generation would always point to your character.
They will.
How do you want to elect an individual who shot someone? So our generation will always question it. And if you go to Twitter...
Especially you're representing Gen Z. So how, like, even for us, there's some things we've said here.
Yes.
And like how people are going to like
and when
break
I hear
them
young
down.
people talking about that thing, unlike other people, I do not even get furious about it. That, stop with Babu. He was a reformed person. No, I understand them quite well.
Yeah.
Because we have made the same mistake before.
True.
Even with our current president. There's so many people who question this character. Like, how do you elect a president who did this in 2007, ICC crimes, and you still want him to deliver?
True.
So it is right, because you might elect this person, and a few years, he disappoints you again.
Yeah.
So why would you talk about reformists? So there is that requirement of a person who's integral and of high character that Gen Zs want.
True.
So if you are involved in anything such as goonism, if you are involved in drugs, such as Babu has been accused of, Gen Zs would not want that thing. Yeah. And I love it. In fact, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It is good because...
you want a representative with, not 100% perfect or pure, but, there are not so many other things I can compare him to, like a thug, a local thug, you see.
Yes.
So you want it to come from like a point of purity, even if it's not 100% pure.
Yes.
But at least...
But there are certain limits.
Yes.
Taking a gun and shooting someone, it's a very dangerous thing. Who would do that?
And not in an isolated incident, like in front of people. That's what I'm saying. Like like a strong position and big power comes with a lot of responsibility. Yes. And that's why, I think also another thing, as much as, even when we have our president, at times when people accuse him of a lot of things, I have to use accuse because, nobody wants to go missing here next week. When people are accusing him of A, B, C, and D.
I've also been tracked before with these people.
That's what I'm saying. But still, here's what I'm always telling people, even in the previous episode. I want to live to my 80s. And also at times, there are powers that are higher than us. Yes. So can we at least prolong, our lives, Kidero? I'm not here to say, nobody can do anything to me. They'll say, let's make an example with you, Basi. Let's just show you. So, with that being said, what was I saying before I strayed off?
You also lost me on that.
Man, and it was a very hot point.
It was about, shooting someone and connect it from there.
Hold on. My goodness. How can I lose this point? And it was just steaming hot. Okay, I'll come back to it. Yeah. But I was just saying, I think, let me just touch on, just how Gen Zs can be able to point out so many different things.
True.
So on your leader, you do want somebody with a clear head. And I'm just saying, you don't, with high power comes a lot of high responsibility.
Yes.
I want to know, like, let's say if you are able to take a gun and shoot someone because, they made you upset.
Yes.
Imagine if you're the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and you have people with how many guns behind you. I want to know that you can be able to calm yourself down. And I was saying now, I've remembered the point. I was saying now, like how people can say, okay, the president has done this to this person and this person.
Yes.
We want to know that you're the kind of person, even if you're upset with that thing, you can come and in front of a microphone and address people without people seeing you like boiling, like your eyes are red and, veins are in your,
Yes.
So I think a lot of people need kind of like don't overlook something like that. When you see people like, let's say, Uhuru, how many times did you see him getting angry and throwing things or tantrums?
Never.
Emotional intelligence. I'm sure deep down, that's why he said like, Twitter, mentukana sana, I'm out.
Deactivated.
Yeah, deactivated. I'm out. I can't deal with this. But I'm just saying like leaders should have like the strongest levels of emotional character and emotional intelligence because I know in case, because pressure is going to be there every day.
That was what even we were discussing while I was telling a close aide to Babu.
Okay.
That, of course, this leadership of, the goonism and that aggressiveness works for comrades.
Yes.
While you're in campus. It is enticing to youths.
Yes. Yes.
But remember, there is a certain demeanor and character that you need when you become a president.
Once you cross over.
And immediately you know that you can't become a president.
Yeah.
You have to change the way
you have to
act.
You have to.
No matter how a certain person insults you somewhere, you must control yourself in the best manner possible. Because there is that image that a president must always display.
Yeah.
That compassion has to be there. And people like Ndindi Nyoro are doing very well with that. Ndindi Nyoro is one of the leaders who you don't see him insulting anyone. You just see him showing up very softly, talking about certain issues and everything. If he decides today that I want to become president, you would not look back and say, hey, this person was very insulting. You don't have a certain sense of doubt because of his character.
Yeah.
But that compassion that you feel like, of course, this is a person who's very, very compassionate and very chill. This is someone I would elect.
You want to look at somebody, like, okay, I can still respect him, even without him. Like, because think about one of like super countries, like let's say Putin, Russia. Yeah. Have you ever seen him insulting anyone?
Never. You don't see it.
But we all know worldwide. Everybody just knows. It just knows, like, it's not somebody that you mess with, but you don't see him on camera, like, throwing tantrums on him. So, like, there has to be, like, some sort of,
I was even seeing the exchange between Babu and Sakaja online. And Babu was throwing certain insults. I don't know, mbwa, takataka, nini. And I was thinking, who is the PR manager of Babu?
Yeah.
Why is he not advising him that?
And those are yes men around you.
Yes, of course, Sakaja might be wrong.
Yeah.
But remember,
you can't respond that way.
You can't respond that way. And I was trying to say it, that Babu and the people around him has to tell him that there is a certain image that you need to display right now. Yeah. Of course, you have to have the agility as a leader, talk family and everything.
True.
But at the same time, be the most compassionate person.
Because, it's so wild because, people are normally like, those leadership positions come with like, diplomatic relationships. You might be sent to a certain country to represent us. And let's imagine you insult somebody from a country like, some place in UAE, some place, and you mess up like our whole nini.
Yeah. In fact, that's the entire aspect of a leader, especially someone who's a president. Yeah. That is a diplomatic figure who represents the entire country worldwide.
100%.
So you go to a certain forum, then people pull up a very gross video of you insulting women. What will the women leaders there say? They would have something.
And you on top of that, you insult those women.
Exactly. So there is a certain character that they have to display. So Babu, of course, is still young. I'm not ruling out the fact
there's room for growth.
Exactly, there is room for growth. So,
but he has to change if he wants, like,
he has to change drastically to appear as someone who can be a president.
Yeah.
Very certain.
So we do have, that's a name you've brought up, but what would be like the next best person if you were to pick? Because when we're talking about it now, because like we've said, whether people want to talk about it or not, it's going to happen. A representative has to come from that, has to fill that void. So if it's not him, who else do you think potentially could? So that I see, like, and also remember, if we're putting like, this is not about feelings, just being critical, because I want to see how good of like judge of character you can be, because like the names you pick,
it's good.
Are they potentially what we can see?
I've definitely thought about it beyond. And one person that I thought so high of was Opiyo Wandayi in the first place.
Okay.
That's the reason even Opiyo Wandayi was chosen for a cabinet secretary position for energy. And there were still big names in ODM, such as Junet, but these people were never picked. So there was a certain character that Opiyo Wandayi displayed, the former MP of Ugunja.
Yeah.
So I really thought of Opiyo as a potential big leader for the Luo Nyanza. But now the problem why I say again I do not think of him is because of how deeply he has been engraved with the current government. So yesterday Opiyo has already made a statement that we are in the government 100% because Raila left us here. And when you are a leader who knows quite well that the people that you are representing are quite unhappy with this government, that is a very dangerous position to take.
Yeah.
You see? So you might be resonating maybe with a few people that will listen to you because you speak Luo in Nyanza.
Yes, man. You're yes, man.
But the entire population of people will feel a very different way about it. Yeah. But Opiyo had a very good high character as a leader, as someone who's compassionate. That's why you've never seen him also insulting people online. And he was also a very brilliant engineer, a very brilliant person, like from his own field.
Yeah.
So I thought of Opiyo Wandayi as someone who can become a very good leader for the Luo Nyanza up to a certain point. But you cannot also rule out people like Evans Kidero. Evans Kidero is one of those leaders that the entire nation do not see his impact and influence. But if you go to places like Homa Bay, places like Kisumu, Evans Kidero is a very revered leader. That is why when he wanted to vie for the position of governor in Homa Bay, and there was ODM nomination, Raila decided to quickly give Wanga the ticket without an election. Because he knew if he gave Kidero an opportunity to go to the ballot,
it would be like just clean.
He would definitely win. So they had to undermine him.
Okay.
And Kidero also has that power, the agility as a good leader.
Yeah. But we also do have the infamous slap. That's very popular.
He also has some of the worst controversies.
Yeah.
Some of becoming the first governor of Nairobi, he has had the worst controversies when it comes to corruption. He has had the worst controversies when it comes to handling his staff, media slapping Shabesh live on camera
in front of people.
So that national aspect, but at least he has maintained to be someone who's calm.
Okay.
But if you look at how he's treated in Luo Nyanza,
he's very popular in the community, so even numbers, he can pull the numbers.
So he can definitely pull numbers and people can rally quite easily behind him. So he can also be a very good leader for that position.
Wait, so what's this person's name? Wait, Jalang'o is in which party?
Jalang'o?
Yeah.
It's ODM.
He is ODM, right?
Fully fledged ODM.
Okay. So is he in any conversations about anything?
No. Jalang'o.
Or you guys still don't take him?
Quite high. Jalang'o, we appreciate Jalang'o.
He doesn't insult people, for one.
He does it, for sure. He doesn't insult people. But Jalang'o has not been in politics for quite a long time. That is the first thing. And Jalang'o has not still had that image of a politician.
Has he made impact, like according to your analysis and what you've heard, what you've seen? Has he made any impact?
Jalang'o has not made impact politically. Jalang'o is still seen as a celebrity.
He's still an entertainer. I've said that before.
Most of the time we are engaging with content from Jalang'o. It's not on political issues.
100%.
It is on other totally different issues.
And that's very unfortunate.
And that is the problem. So there is not that leadership image that we are seeing from Jalang'o.
100%.
And that is the bad thing about Kenyan politics. Kenyan politics is just about populism. the fact that you're seen every day, the fact that you're online, people think that you're a good leader. But in real sense, if we start to critique you on what you've done for Lang'ata MP, for the Lang'ata people, for the bills you've introduced in parliament, for the vision you have for the manifesto,
I don't know if
becomes
any.
very
Are there any
I've not,
any policies he's challenging or he's trying to push?
There's no important policy or challenge that Jalang'o was introduced in parliament.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate because he's young, and I think he was also like, if you're elected young, you still have so much room to do a lot of things, and you can if you want to. I think if you want to, you can.
So you see, Jalang'o has to morph and become a leader. That is my best advice for him.
Transform from entertainer to
transform from being an entertainer and become a leader. Let people see you mostly as a leader and not an entertainer. If truly you want to progress in Kenyan politics, because there was a time he was saying he wants to vie for governor. But how do you want to vie for governor?
Jesus Christ. He said that?
He said that he will soon vie for governor.
No,
not this time. He said if Babu gets to the position, he might vie.
Maybe he was being a comedian, because that's his background.
He was being
right?
a comedian, but one thing about politics, the moment you test it, you would want.
He would actually be serious saying that.
So he would want to become a governor. So you do not want to become a governor, and 100% of the times people seeing you, it's only Luo Festival, it's only Bolo Bespoke, it's only you are out with your worker eating at your garden.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. No, you're content creator. Shopping. You're creating content.
Yes, it is good for us to see that aspect, but we are seeing too much of you on that.
But I think that's the problem, because now when we see too much of that, and we're not seeing policies you're pushing or lives that you're changing, it becomes a little bit.
So you've seen how I've told you that he wants to vie for governor, and you've bluffed it a little.
No,
bit.
Governor is a bit ridiculous.
It is true. The fact that you're displaying an image of an entertainer, nobody will take you serious when you want to progress.
Yeah, I can't.
Yes, for sure. Okay. So he has to rethink on that position. So Jalang'o, I do not see him as a worthy person to take over the.
I know somebody else who's, trying to sneak his way in. And, I'll ask you about his opinion, about what you think about him, because I think that's his next step.
Yes.
Eric Omondi has shown a bit of I think he's slithering his way into politics.
Yes. In fact, there was a proposition for him to be given a ticket for any constituency that he might want to vie.
Through ODM.
Yeah, through ODM.
So definitely,
if you talk about giving a ticket, it's ODM. It's only ODM.
I'm just saying, because we have to be clear. We have to be clear.
It's only ODM that gives you a ticket, and the moment you get the ticket, you're assured of winning.
Oh, okay. So what do you think about that? Because he's pushed he has done this humanitarian thing for over since COVID till now, which has made a huge impact on just the lower class community.
I
made changes.
love the way he has evolved.
Yeah,
he is not now being seen.
We're not seeing him as an
activist.
Yeah.
In fact, now we are seeing him as a philanthropist.
Yes.
And as an activist, someone who's involved with charity. I don't think if right now I'm coming across Eric Omondi's content.
I'm not expecting to laugh.
Comedy. Yeah. In fact, I'm just seeing charity and everything, and that is good.
Yeah.
That is how you evolve. So you see, the moment you've already created that image of someone who's doing philanthropy, charity, and helping people,
you're shaking hands with the people.
At least people are now starting to take you serious.
Yeah.
So Eric Omondi is good. I would credit him for activism. The moment he's making noise about media bills to protect content creators.
Yeah.
He's making noise about finance bill with us here.
Yeah.
That activism aspect is always important for any leader. I've always said it.
Yeah.
That is how an MP would always make change. So if Eric Omondi is given a chance, I would feel that he has already gone away from being an entertainer like Jalang'o.
And that's the thing. The craziest thing, if I was to pick Jalas and Eric right now and compare the two, I think if Eric was given Jalang'o's job, he might be able to do a better job.
He will do a better job. Because Eric Omondi, if he's elected, you would not see any content on entertainment anymore.
True.
You'll no longer see it. Eric Omondi is the type of person you'll now see him now actively, protesting about certain things or pushing for certain things.
Yeah.
Yes, you would be happy because it has given him a platform. So I cannot rule out Eric Omondi getting into the political space, and I would be happy for him to be there.
And to be a good evolution to see where it goes. Because also we still have to keep, it's crazy, but we also have to keep an open mind to a lot of people getting in positions, you know.
Yes,
because
we can't as
take,
young people,
yeah,
we must start to imagine that anyone can become president.
Yes, because we can't complain, and yet all these other people who are supposed to come in are people who like we're currently now like seeing doing things like, you know, in a noble way.
Yes.
And of course we're not taking, this is not shots at Jalas. Come on, we're just having conversations and we are trying to think and also understand I'm millennial,
It's a
is
good
Gen
advice.
Z.
That one cannot be
Yeah,
short.
but you know, like just how people online look at things and then start acting crazy. So it's just like pure analysis and just take it as, you know, criticism.
Yes.
Like, you know, and things that you can change or improve on. Like we've said, people don't look at him as a political leader.
Yes.
We see him as an entertainer.
For sure.
That's the unfortunate part. Eric has already started showing like a lot of, you know, things like leadership qualities that might actually push him in a very good position. But also, again, over the past years, we have seen people who have been acting a certain way before they were given a ticket and position.
Yeah.
You know, we have the history of people like, you know, KJ was during Moi's era and was drawing cartoons on the newspaper, like, you know, newspaper, like there was always a section there for just his cartoons, criticizing the government 24/7. They were akina ridiculous, Tony Njuguna, Walter Mungare, John Kerry. So if you remember how they were like, you know, representing like young people and just being like against the government and painting it like in a comedic way. Like even Moi at times was open to them entertaining like people in public holidays. But you know, a lot of these people got in positions and you know, like KJ, of course,
changed.
no shots again. But you know, they changed.
They changed. And
They're not the same people that they used to be.
That is why it is very critical for Gen Zs to question your character.
You have
because
to.
Because how else are we going to be assured that you're not going to change?
You have to look
because
at,
if you tell us that you've done something today, then how am I going to trust you in the first place? If you've already, example, shot someone, right?
Yeah.
How am I going to trust you again in future?
It's
that is why
it's tricky.
The only way for us to be assured that you'll not turn out that way is for us to first question, what type of person are you?
Yeah.
What have you done in the past that might predict you will do this in the future? So that is the problem with the leaders that we are also having here. So that is why it's good for us to have a leader that we might be so sure about it. But also you must understand that the reason why some leaders might not deliver quite well is because of the political system that we have. Okay. So many leaders are very ambitious about...
but there are people in higher positions who can't allow them to do what they...
They can't allow them to do that. And even certain leaders, as Babu Owino has talked about it, and he said that, of course, I might do certain things like impeaching the president. But which MP will rally behind me the moment I decide to do that? Nobody.
So that they lose all their diplomatic passports and benefits.
Yeah, so one thing, the reality that hits these people when they get there is certain bureaucracy that will prevent them from doing so many things.
True.
You might want to deliver a certain contract to your own people, but there are certain cartels in between it that are colluding with the government or certain agencies that would steal and eat money. And your constituency would not be getting a certain amount of money. So that reality always hits them so hard. I've even heard about MPs telling people that what you think happens in the government will make you not even want to become a leader.
That's true.
And because it becomes impossible for you to deliver as a leader.
And you're already in that circle. You can't take a step back and say, like, I don't want this anymore. No, you already signed up for this. You're part of it.
And that is why, while we were fighting for a revolution in Kenya in 2024, we were fighting for an overhaul of the system. We were not just fighting to replace someone. That is why we are having this important discussion that it's not just about Ruto. Like, even if, of course, we change it to another person, does it change that system that we've had in place? Because
we might still complain about the same things.
In our health sector, in our indicators, are these cartels still there?
Yeah.
That overhaul of the system was very necessary. And that is the only way a leader that we elect can thrive. If we choose that it's a good leader to do with Maraga, he can only thrive as a president if that system is also taken down. But if we ignore that system and have someone on top there as a president, it will become impossible for him to deliver to his own people.
Now, even when we're talking about such things, right? we're talking about things that might hinder, like, even like somebody who's ambitious to take things to the next level. Right now, like, Raila is not there anymore.
Yes.
I think he was like the biggest, kind of like bully in that space. Where does that leave the climate now? Because like, I'm just trying to think, it's kind of like a football match. Like you guys have been like, rivals. And then that person is not even there anymore. Like even for Ruto, just think about it. Like, okay, so now who's supposed to like compete with him in that,
Okay, let me tell you.
That capacity.
Let me tell you an important thing.
And impact that. Just how Rao used to, he had like,
Why did Rao have that impact?
I think establishment and just...
Establishment, but because of the people behind him.
Okay,
who are ready to die for him.
Yeah.
And while people have been saying online that now that Raila has died, the Luo people have no direction or their light has been switched off. But people don't remember that. It is not because of
Do you
Raila.
think the light has been switched off?
No, that is what I'm saying.
Raila was a very...
Yes,
if it's firewood, we're talking about a big ass flame that's in the house, it's hot.
He was unifying people, but I tell people that you cannot say that now that Raila has died, our switch is off. People need to realize that we were not going to protest, or Luos were not protesting because of Raila. People need to see that Luos have a certain inherent character of defiance. Even from the beginning, even in the colonial times, Luos have always been defiant about everything. So it's a character that is embedded in Luos.
Yeah.
And most people think that now that Raila is gone, we might not see that. No. You will still see it with Luos.
We'll see it, but how will we see it in a political level?
Yes. The only problem is that it has to be directional. Now that that is your character, whose orders are we taking from?
Yeah.
So that might be the important aspect, because not all of them can one day wake up and say that, okay, now we're going to be protesting or defying.
Nobody's going to listen, because, that's what I'm saying. Like, Raila was such a huge vacuum to fill. Like, it's so big, because he's, and we're talking about somebody who's doing it from like our grandpa's days till now. So when even he's saying something, it's coming from like an elder, it's not just a politician, it's an elder. It's like listening to your grandpa. It's like, oh, you're listening to him because he's, so like, even if somebody who's coming in is slightly younger, like are people still going to look at that representative as the same way they were looking at Raila? And it might take like a little bit of time for somebody to come and bully his way into that nini. But is it possible, first of all?
It's impossible.
And you've said it's people who are saying like, it's like the light has been dimmed. But is it possible for the light to be switched on to that level, to that intensity?
It is impossible to match the level that Raila attained in Kenyan politics. But it is possible for us to have the same media of politics from Nyanza, whereby they have a leader who will tell them go to protest and they will listen. They have a leader who tells them that we'll do this and they will listen.
Who's going to do that?
I don't want to speculate. Babu can be the one. Evans Kidero, Anyang' Nyong'o, Oburu Odinga.
Okay. Because it has to be one of them, though.
Just anyone.
Yeah.
Just
it has to be.
So that one will still happen.
Esther Passaris. Okay, that's on a lighter note. Okay.
Yeah. So anyone, but the level that Baba attained is something that would never be seen again, because Baba understood politics quite well. He understood the game so well. He understood the politics of opposition quite too well. And the revolutionary works of Baba cannot be replicated again. We have not seen a leader who has fought for reforms. People underlie that before Baba became even a political presidential candidate, there was something he did before that. And I tell people in politics, the moment you want to decide to become something, there is something that you first have to do.
Yeah.
Did you go on TV to talk about something? Did you meet people on the ground to talk about something? So Baba did something very critical first. Before he went for any position, he fought for multi-party democracy. And that was a very good thing.
A huge thing. That has changed politics in Kenya.
He fought for the ability of people to get out of this dictatorship of Moi regime. He was detained, he held rallies and he held those things.
Yeah.
So that revolutionary works. I do not see it in someone else. Because right now, currently, we are going through a lot as a country that needs that revolutionary aspect.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any leader, even Babu himself, step up.
Impossible.
Yeah. In fact, we used to tell them that if you say that ODM is bad, why don't you resign from ODM and fight for us? We haven't seen that. What did Raila do? Raila resigned from Ford.
Yeah.
And went to another party and vied again in Lang'ata, as long as it is not aligned with his ideology as an individual.
Yeah.
So that revolutionary aspect, I'm not seeing it from any leader.
So now even, have we gone, even apart from us, the people saying like the light has been dimmed, what about the policies that were being pushed by Baba and stuff? Like, are they all gone? And now we have to start afresh? Because you said something very important, like on
my TikTok, right?
TikTok, and I want now you to address that, if you can break it down for us, because he had these policies he was pushing and ideologies. So are you saying all those have to be forgotten and new ones now brought to?
They have to be forgotten, and the reason why it has to be forgotten, because ODM's ideology was Raila. The moment you take that picture out, it's done.
Yeah.
So, Raila, people still want to resurrect Raila by stating that Raila has left this plan behind and now we have to follow it.
Yeah.
How is that possible? The only reason we revere this person was because he was alive to tell us what to do.
Yeah.
So they're telling people that Raila left us in government to carry out certain specific functions and help the government. But at the same time, people are fed up with this government itself. So how are you going to force an entire nation to follow that route, even though they do not agree with that? So that is why I was calling it out on my platform, specifically for Luos, because I'm from that region. Definitely I have to talk about it. I was stating that no leader should come out trying to convince Luos under the pretext that Raila left us here, that we should now be supporting this government. We would appreciate them not being in government.
Isn't that going against what Baba wanted? How dare you go against what your grandfather has put in place and saying
Baba was only revered.
And he did the handshake.
Baba was only revered when he's alive. Baba was only important when he is alive. What he has left behind is a legacy, not a direction, not a command. After Baba is gone, that is over.
But isn't that what now brings the confusion thing that we said? Now, isn't that going to be like a tough conversation?
Yes, it's going to
among
be,
us, just even yourself.
Leave alone being a tough conversation, it's going to be the propaganda and narrative that William Ruto's side and the cronies that have been left behind are going to push. And they've already started it. Because that is easier to convince people. Like, why are we still in this government? People would ask, and people would tell you, Raila, the most important consequential leader, gave us this direction. So the moment people who loved Raila listen to that narrative, they would be like, you are making sense. In fact, people are saying, Raila, before he died, he knew that he wanted to leave his people in government. You see that kind of narrative that is being propped up.
Okay, now, but here's the thing.
So the moment you tell an average Luo in the rural area such kind of thing, somebody who sees Raila as a demigod, he would say, hey, Baba foresaw this as a prophet. So you see, that narrative is being cooked slowly with the people of Nyanza. But we Nyanza people, we are independent people of our own view of how things are supposed to be running.
But now, where's the time for people to make such the decision-making period it's not supposed to take too long if you think about it right now. And even just if it's like getting your house in order or getting your affairs in order, it's supposed to happen fast right now because we're also coming to almost the next elections. And, that's where you need clarity and purpose. There can't be too much confusion going on with the limited time that's there.
If I was Babu, to avoid all this, first step I do, I make it clear and obvious that I am ready to lead the people of Nyanza. Number 2, I make an executive order within the ODM party to strike down the coalition agreement or the memorandum of understanding that we've had with the government because it does not align with the majority of people.
And then what happens after?
Number 3, we find measures of now trying to get together with the young people, with the opposition that is also in place, to form a formidable team to take down the current regime. Those are the most considerable steps that has to be taken when it comes to the ODM party. And for me as an individual, it's not a must for ODM to have a president. I love ODM with the aspect of fighting for the rights of people.
Yeah.
Or as a party that has always kept the government on toes.
Yep.
So that is one thing that you're going to see. So let's not be afraid that, okay, maybe they might lose, they might be out of government and be in the perpetual opposition again. It's fine. Let's go with that. But the principle of fighting for the rights of people should never be done away with.
Telling you, it's just one of those things that, like I said, it's hard conversations to talk about, but also the best thing, the most important thing is to note that there's very limited time because we're getting close to the next election. So even things that we don't want to discuss now, I mean, it's inevitable for them to be heard. And it will be heard through like the press or people will push their own agendas through the platforms that they can. So it's better to have those conversations like right now. Also, like another thing, just touching on like just Baba right now, because we've been given like, 7 days state mourning days, right?
Yes.
And even just the incident that happened, like, when people were trying to view the body.
In Kasarani.
Is that something that you can touch on, or it's just too... Because I wasn't there. Wait, you went to the airport, right?
No. Oh, yeah, I went to the airport.
You went to with the officials, I'm guessing, right?
At first, we were at the airport in the morning.
Yeah.
Things were very calm. There was nobody who was allowed to... There was no crowd that was allowed to get into the airport.
Yeah.
But immediately, the security was breached. I had to leave. The moment you're in a good suit there... Somebody sees you.
Yeah. They might assume now, this is the enemy.
Nitolee kitu.
Exactly.
Toa kitu. And mimi ni comrade.
Yeah, true.
Toa kitu. In fact, they were there selling twigs. So walikuwa nanunua twigs for 500.
Yeah, I heard.
They stop you. They're like, hey, stop. Twig. 500 twig.
Yeah. True.
You tell them I don't want the twig. They're telling you, no. For you to pass, buy this twig for 500. So you buy the tree twig for you to have it. So if I show up there in my suit, they'll tell me, Oluoch.
You have to leave something. You have to leave something.
So immediately I saw the chaos. I just decided to leave and let people mourn Baba the way they wanted.
But what do you think about like just even how the state dealt with the situation at Nib? Because why I'm bringing it up, it's because I've seen now it's been amplified like in international platforms like BBC, Al Jazeera, New York Times.
So many news about it. They have caught up on what really happened there. But for me, I think the state was also deliberate. First of all, the state...
Was it necessary to do that? Because, and then again also, last time we mentioned like, when we talk about police and what they have to do, it might trigger people, but we still have to address something that's similar to what we were talking about on the previous episode. So, just how they handled it, and the outcome, like what do you think?
Of course, they became ungovernable at a certain point, especially in Kasarani. Sometimes it is very hard for even the normal police officer to handle such a huge crowd. And there were also fights. Most people don't understand. During those fracas, fights always break out. Very intense fights. I've seen it so many times. And the moment people are fighting, even as a police officer, the moment you put yourself in between it, you are going to be hurt. So you see, the moment those chaos started erupting, that is when the police officers started, randomly shooting. And sometimes they might try to fire in the air, maybe fire in different directions, but it must catch someone.
It will.
You see, like the person who caught fire was between the field.
Yeah.
Some are very between, but the police officers were very far away.
Yeah.
So you see something like that, you shoot in the air, but definitely it catches someone. So that was the problem. But my only problem is, why were they using live rounds at that moment?
True.
If they foresaw that,
I think rubber bullets would have been just like, okay, yeah.
I see.
Somebody, because it's not fatal, you're not aiming for fatality. So
yes, they would have predicted that there might be something like a protest, so they should have had nothing like live ammunition.
I think they were just not prepared as well. So, because initially, wasn't it supposed to happen at Nyayo Stadium? How would that even have been possible?
See how hard it was.
So even for them to predict, I think they were just not ready, because if they moved to Nyayo, because they saw like, hey, the crowd might be too big. Kasarani was jam-packed already as well.
In fact, there were people who were not still allowed inside.
Oh, even after all those people were
immediately the VIP came in, the president came in, there are people who had to still stay outside.
And people are trying to get to VIP, first of all.
Exactly. People are trying to get to the VIP and they could not let it. That's the first time you're seeing 1,000 police officers in one place.
Yeah. 1,000. And then, with this climate, first of all, letting guns in VIP, you just not know what might happen. We honestly, because people say what they might do to someone online, so you don't want them.
Can I tell you, if the police officers did not prevent people from getting close to the coffin of Baba, you know what people do in Luo Nyanza? They take the coffin and they carry it. I've seen it before. There was a time we were trying to carry a certain coffin of our relative. Yeah. The people loved that person so much, they pushed us and they told us, give us the coffin. And we will walk with it. And they walked with the coffin through the entire town for almost the entire day. So now you see, if those people were given a chance to carry that casket,
they would do it.
They would have walked with Baba's coffin through the entire Nairobi for the entire day.
And now you see that, okay, as much as, they would want to do that, the police can't allow that to happen, because this is also like a powerful, strong...
It is a presidential state funeral.
Kind of, yes, exactly.
Formal in a certain way. In as much as we must also respect...
State, first of all, when you put state in that statement, it means you can't just do it
there is formal procedures for that. But that is what they were afraid of. I could see even the police officer sitting on the casket, trying to prevent these people from getting into that coffin.
There's somebody who was holding the casket on top of it and recording. But I was like, how did he get there?
He was even close to the Major General of the Army. They hugged even the Major General of the Army. The person for the CDF, and they were hugging the CDF. And
so if you think about it, like, it had gotten to a point where there's nothing else to do but to use kind of like force to try and slow it down, because now people are getting like, it was getting overboard.
The force
getting overboard.
The force definitely was necessary.
Yeah. So live bullets wasn't necessary, but I guess it's because they were not prepared for that.
Yes,
because if I think they were ready for that, they would have definitely, carried rubber bullets. And that's why I've said, like, even at times, if you're a protester or you're part of the goons and everything, understand what some of these things come with. The same way I was saying last time. If you put yourself in a certain position, understand, even being at Kasarani was dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Because those stray bullets were not peaking, just, okay, we'll go to the... No, it would have been anyone. Thank God it wasn't anyone who was like a teenager, or somebody went with a kid, and then maybe a kid was like,
a very innocent person. But also to anyone, it is still very sad that it happened
of course.
to them.
Our condolences to anyone who lost a friend, family, relative in that nini. But just understand, at times when you're in those positions, some of those things it might be your day. It might be your day. So just, be careful when you're going to such gatherings. Now, I know we've touched like on a lot, but I just wanted this episode to be like especially just focused on more of like the state of like, the death of Raila,
definitely.
Burial and everything, and the conversation around it. So maybe after I air this, we can pick like on so many other different topics.
Yes.
So, and I also don't want it to be too long. I want it to be like just...
There's an interesting topics on bills.
No. We can touch on that, but I want us to... Wait, is it the ones that were signed during...
Yes.
Okay, so can we touch on that briefly? Okay, before we summarize,
that should be a whole new topic.
So should we save it for the next one? We can do that after like a week. But now
after 3 days, 4 days,
it will have to be a week. But then again, won't it be too late?
No, it will not be too late.
But can we highlight then?
Yeah, we definitely have to highlight.
If you can highlight and just mention like what exactly happened, and then we can leave room for expansion like on the next. Because I also have to give time for, these things. I'm still the one who's editing. So you know how editing goes.
Yeah.
So you can only understand it's not like, but we can pick maybe for those policies and maybe do like a 1 hour session. But during, like, okay, what exactly happened? It was during the state mourning, like Raila and everything.
Raila died in the morning. Ruto already even had the intelligence that Raila is dead.
Okay.
Most functions are already postponed not to happen. But he insisted that all these 8 bills had to be signed that morning.
Okay.
And he signed the bill. People are now alleging that he did not know of the death of Raila. And it happened just a little bit, just a while after the announcement of the death. So he signed all these around 8 bills. But the most controversial ones are the Computer and Misuse Act. It's now an act now that it has been signed, Computer and Misuse, the Privatization Act, and the Land Laws Act that have now been enacted.
Okay.
But what is catching fire right now is the Computer and Misuse Act now, that the amendments that have been made to it.
Okay, what does that entail?
And one of the critical things, I asked myself one reason. Why is it that this Computer and Misuse Act is being amended? And I realized they were lying to people that there are certain things they are going to be preventing. Things such as, harmful content, child P, something like that online that is going to be there. But that was just a disguise. What they realized, the Committee on Computer Misuse and Crimes did not have the power to take down websites, to take down social media accounts. Because one of the requirements internationally, if a certain media company is going to be taking out a website, it has to be justified in law. If they write to the company, they say that this person has contravened this law and a certain thing, it has to be justified. So they realized that this committee does not have this power. So the first thing they created, that this committee, they added a certain section. What they did, they have amended Section 6.
Okay.
So they have amended Section 6 to provide an additional paragraph after J, to provide that committee would have the power to strike out any website or social media pages or online content that they feel is promoting illegal activities, such as terrorism, child something, gross materials, or bullying, all this. So they are conferring that heavy power.
Is that necessary? Is that a good thing or no?
It is a bad thing. Because
why?
It is a bad thing. First of all, we need to
because even the things that you've mentioned, first of all, terrorism, one, definitely we know East Africa is notorious for that.
The question is, how will they interpret this and how will they use it? That is the first thing. The moment you make any content online, or they might deem it as harmful misinformation or likely to cause public chaos. In fact, that is what they always use. They always say that the information published by this person is likely to cause public chaos. So this is illegal. That is how they always correspond with those charges. So they would want to use that section that anytime they feel like it would cause public chaos, they write to the company X, they write to Meta, they write to any company, and immediately your social media accounts or website would be pulled down.
Because let's be honest.
Also, no. It gives them power to also take down social media wholly. Like in Tanzania, there was a time X was taken down.
Yeah.
There was a time in, I don't know if it's Nepal, other countries, social medias were actually banned in that country. So it gives this committee also the power. If they realize that the entire X has been infiltrated with certain disinformation, they will take that platform down.
I think I've talked about this before on I don't remember which episode it was, but I was just saying, like, we're in one country where I think now people are kind of like misusing social media because of the freedom it gives them. Because think about it, like when they say for terrorism, definitely that's very necessary. For child P, very necessary. And not even that.
But you see, you're also falling for it the same way they want people to fall for it.
No, because here...
Because look at social media as a very heavy user of social media. Social media itself has a very foolproof system of taking down a lot of content. If right now I post a content that has a lot of blood in it on YouTube, they would definitely realize and censor it. If I post a content that has something that is very illegal, that system has a way of pulling it down. So there is already international systems and methods and regulators who are already tasked with these things.
True, but also let's not forget that also being in Africa, in general, like just Africa in general, we do have like different culture and ways of how like even our kids are being brought up.
Yes.
Like, you go to different countries, the same way you've touched on a few things, ages of consent are different.
Yes,
Cultures are different. Prostitution is illegal in Kenya. In the States, it's legal. In other, there are few states where it's not legal. In Europe, it's practically legal. So there are so many other different things that still come into play that might favor us culturally. But I think their main concern is probably political, like pushes, like from people, critics.
If we have to,
But some of the things that are tied into that, if they didn't exist, they are just playing like a clean game as well.
Yes, but that
I'm playing devil's advocate again.
So
people don't start saying here like, so you're supporting. No, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Because
but that is how they do it.
Yeah.
When they want to make that amendment, they do not make it direct that we're going to be taking certain website.
Yeah.
They first try to manipulate you. They tell you that the justification for this is because we want to take certain illegal websites, certain bullying to certain people.
So it's more censorship.
But in real sense, censorship. It's exactly that censorship. So that manipulation and justification has to be there in first.
Yeah.
But the reason why we must assume that whatever they want to do is censorship is also we know the intention of this government. We know how they have tried so hard to censor people. In fact, the reason why they have amended Section 6 to give them power to take websites is they realized that most of the people who they were arresting, the bloggers, the social media users, they would never have a watertight case that was supported constitutionally in court. So the fact that they realized, of course, we might not have this power to jail these people.
So legally, they can't really do
power to take these social media accounts down. So that is what they realized. Of course, we might not take you on social media or in court or jail you, but we'll take down your account.
But do you think that's necessary? In some cases.
To take people's account out?
Yes.
No, it is not necessary.
And keep in mind.
Let me say this.
Keep in mind, it's not just in Kenya. Andrew Tate has been banned on TikTok. Is it fair? No. No. So if we are planning on, playing an even ground, then let Andrew Tate have his channel back.
Yeah.
Let's let people have like the full freedom. But if we're talking about like there's some people who might be too vocal and they have to be slowed down a bit, it's because they have that influence.
For me, I've said in online.
Yeah.
In a democratic society, you have the freedom to say the worst thing about the government. Even if I wake up today and say
yes and no,
Ruto must die because of this, no one should question you.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let me say this. Here's the thing. And I think there's somebody who said this.
That is how a democratic society. That is the philosophy.
Very true. But also remember,
free speech.
And I'll tell you why. Like even why.
If I'm attacking you personally and say that you must do this, that when I'm hurting you as a person. But this is a political figure.
No, I understand. And also let me just give you my input on this. Like. Again, I'll say it like, as much as, and that's what I'm saying, like, I think we have too much freedom that people don't understand, like, even the consequences of that. Because, yes, you have the right to say whatever you want.
Yes.
But you do not have the right to stop some of the things that might happen to you. Perfect example in the States, somebody like Charlie Clark.
Yeah.
Super vocal. He had his points, going to talk to young people here and there, like increased his net worth and everything. He was pushing gun amendments, freedom of speech, and all these things that are great about America. But you cannot stop the consequences of what might happen to you.
For sure.
Freedom of speech is there. That's why I think there was like, I had like another episode with some girls here and I was talking to them. If I'm in, let's say, what do you call it? Like this protest.
Yeah.
I cannot protest next to women and listen to what they're saying. Not just because of women, because the consequences that await me and them to different things.
True.
So we are seeing cops with rungus there and tear gas and guns. And then we go, it's like, hey, freedom, yeah. And then, you know how like, there's nothing you can do to us. The cops are looking at you and they're looking at them. Who do you think they're going to smoke out first? You're going home in a body bag. Have you heard during all these protests any woman who has died?
Nope.
Exactly. So even when you're next to people, you have to assess the situation. Just look at it. It's like, oh, so I might be taken out. This person next to you might be saying like, no, you know your rights. Don't let them do anything to you. You will be shot in the head. And then they'll start saying like, again, like, oh, please, free, Nini, justice for Nini. No, you have to understand like all these consequences because we are saying yes. Yeah. But when you're in that position and something happens to you, it's going to be, oh, RIP and justice for Nani. Like we said, you're very young and there's still so much for you to, like, can you imagine at your peak the things that you'll be able to do?
Definitely.
If you're thinking the way you're thinking now, you're moving the way you're thinking, why would we take that away from you right now?
For sure.
Even why would you take that away from yourself right now? Like even your kids haven't gotten to see you. Why would you take it away before it even happens?
Yeah, that self-preservation must always be
we also have to like just remember like as much as we do have freedom of speech, but are you going to stop will your freedom of speech stop that person from doing something to you?
Idi Amin said that I guarantee you freedom of speech.
Yes.
But I don't guarantee you freedom after speech.
There you go. And we should also realize this is a worldwide thing. Like people tried, an assassination attempt was done at Trump. That's Trump. Charlie Kirk was just shot in front of people. And this is in America.
In fact, that's the dangerous part about politics. There is always someone that you're triggering that does not agree with you, no matter how good you're the things you're fighting for.
It doesn't matter how big you think you are. The guy who was smoked in the roundabout.
Yeah. Such kind of things.
And he was known to be like, big bully, apparently, and all those other things. But people knew him for being like, a goon.
Yeah.
But what happened to him?
Gone.
Just like that. And his story is done. Done.
After death, nobody remembers.
Yeah. So just think about it like, if you're trying to live here to like enforce the policies and the ideologies and everything, again, emotional intelligence plays a big role.
It has to be strategic.
Yeah. You can say things, but also like if you want to say them for a longer time, like 40 years, because let's be honest, have I heard Raila insulting anyone? Like, like the insults that nowadays we get.
No.
Like your mom, sijui is nini, we sijui kwenda huko sijui ni. Have I ever? And we're talking about somebody who has given the government and states of head chaos back to back. I've never heard him say anything crazy.
That was the aspect of even handshakes.
Yes.
Because he would disagree with you one time, handshake with you, disagree with you again. So he has already created an image that this is someone who I can work with. Yeah. So I cannot even kill him.
Problem solving skill. So I think even for me, I lack that. I don't know how to do that. Disagreements, and then maybe like after weeks, like I give you a call. It's like, okay, Ebu, let's just think about how
that tactic has enabled him to preserve himself for a long time and not die.
Coming from the Moi era.
In fact, Moi had the capacity to even kill him.
At any time he wanted. But just imagine like for you to survive through all that. It means like there are smarter ways that you can go about things. You don't really necessarily have to say or do some certain things, which might, honestly speaking, take your life, Nini. I've said that enough times, and even when women are doing the debate and I'm doing the debate, I'm always telling them, like, I can't listen to what you're saying because your consequences and mine are completely different. Those guys will come and drag me from my house today. They'll say, what? women and children, even the rule of war is always women and children, just leave them alone.
Yeah.
Leave them alone.
You don't even draft them in war.
Just leave them alone. And, even when Ukraine was doing Nini, perfectly example, young men, you are dragged.
From
you
your
have
home.
to go
You have to
and you have to go and represent and fight for your country. Women, no.
Yeah.
And it's so unfortunate, but we have to keep that in mind again. So you have just stay safe out there. The best thing that you can do is like, if you want to see all these policies come to life, you grow into like the perfect leader that you're trying to be.
Yeah.
We have to be smart because,
For sure. You have to be smart, very strategic.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're still alive to fight for people.
Yes.
And grow as a person.
And see the changes that you want come to place.
Yeah, for
right?
sure. Yeah.
So now we'll definitely discuss like, the signed, what are they called? Bills. Are they bills?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll discuss the signed bills like on the next episode. So we'll give that a week, but this one we have to drop next week. So I think we're close to 2 hours. But tell people where they can find you and anything else that you have going on. Just let them know.
Find me on all social media platforms with my official name. I'm young, but I'm traditional at the same time. Find me at Adrian Oluoch, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, not LinkedIn. I don't succumb to the pressure of LinkedIn. Yeah, all social media platforms. Engage with my content. I have great projects coming on. I've been new in most of these platforms, 2 months, 3 months. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to taking content creation seriously because that is the biggest platform we're having as young people. Yeah,
I think even YouTube, we should have you thought of YouTube?
I don't have a channel right now. I'm still thinking about long form content. In fact, I create so good content on TikTok, but I'm like,
it's
I'm
the
not
same.
Saying enough.
No, but the same, you can take and put like on YouTube Shorts.
Oh,
just have a channel.
Yeah, but there's shorts. Oh my God.
Actually, if you open like your YouTube channel, in the next reels that I post, I can do the collab thing.
The collab, yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely should think
just
about
open.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, if I'm now thinking of taking it seriously, YouTube is the hallmark of it. Yeah. Long form content.
Because if you think about where we are heading, like in the next couple of years, you want to also establish your voice in all the diverse platforms as much as you can.
In fact, that is what I'm actually doing right now. I need that platform first, whereby I can be able to come and talk to a lot of people at the same time. So find me on all social media platforms at Adrian Oluoch. Okay, and then I'll just share his tags and necessary like social media platforms. So till next time, we have to say goodbye for now, guys. See you. Bye-bye. The Kisscapades podcast is your gateway to holistic growth and personal transformation. Together, we'll unlock the secrets to living a life of health, wealth, love, and happiness. So make sure to tune in every week and join us as we explore the essence of what it means to truly thrive. And lastly, show us some love and support in our social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, basically all the social media platforms that support podcasting will definitely be there. Even with the short clips and reels, you can find us there. And lastly, don't be shy with feedback, suggestions, or any questions that you might have in regards to the episodes or our podcast. It's the Kisscapades podcast. Goodbye.